in the face of Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. Continue to have a blessed and humble morning. Yo, it's y'all shorty Rachel. I want to welcome everybody to the Writers for Life. I'm trying to get this banner out the way. I want to welcome everybody to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast, right? You know, when it comes to the podcast, we talk about it all. But, today we're going to be speaking, we're going to be giving an update, right, on the Teacher of the Year, right? We did a live on it last year, right? Teacher of the Year gets arrested for having intercourse, right, with her students. So let's take a look at, the replay of the reviews and reaction that we did to that, and then we're going to get to the update, all right, y'all? Hmm. I put the wrong date up there. I gotta change that. All right, guys. So I mean, I know y'all get the point, right? That was the replay, right? The review and reaction we gave. I gotta change the title, right? Because it wasn't in 2024. It was actually in 2023. We did this review and reaction, right? Teacher of the year gets arrested for having intercourse with her students. So we're in 2025, right? And we got another update on the teacher of the year, right? This time she's admitting she's admitting to her crimes. She admitted that she did what she did, right, with these kids. I feel as though, right, what can we do? What changes can we make? Like I've said time after time, we need more parents in these school board meetings, right? And in these community meetings, right? Speaking, demanding, and asking for what it is that they want done in these schools. But I don't know what is it with the parents nowadays. I could have sworn back then these parents, fought. Listen, claw, tooth, shoe, like listen, they put paws and everything. Like they fought for their kids. Um, I don't think she's from Jersey. Hold on one second.
To push into my classroom and my students.
I forgot where she was from. Hold on one second. Nope, she's in California. I knew I wasn't tripping. No, she's not from Jersey. She's from Cali. She from Cali. So I remember we reviewed and we reacted to this, right? And it's been a while since we heard what happened with this case. So just like yesterday, right, when we was doing the live, right, we had an update on Sonia Massey, which there's going to be an upcoming live. I'm not sure when, but we are going to be having an upcoming live on Sonia Massey, right? An update on Sonia Massey. Congratulations to her family on that lawsuit, right? My condolences go to them. May Sonia Massey have peace in paradise. But today we have another update, and it's about these teachers, right? And once again, I don't know what us leaders of the communities, right, could do, right, to how can I say, make a change and make a difference, right, when it comes to these schools, right? Because at the end of the day, all the solutions that we have, right, are pushed to the side, which is forcing us to sway sometimes, right? Because a lot of these parents don't care, right, about what's going on with their kids in these schools, right? I hear so many people say, oh, I want change, I want this, but in reality, y'all just really want to sit around, twirl your fingers, right, in the air until somebody comes and rescue you. Who? Man, listen, I don't know. I guess y'all figure that one out. But let's get right onto this, John, right? Let's listen to what they got to say about this teacher. Well, she's actually admitting to her crime, right? And she is admitting to sexually assaulting two boys. Like when we reacted to this video, like listen, my jaw dropped. I'm sitting here like, this is crazy. Like a lot of people, right, for some reason think that only little girls get sexually assaulted, molested, and it's not like that, right? Our little boys are also going through it. And what's crazy, they're not men, right? And even some men, when they go through a situation like this, have a hard time fighting back. As crazy as it is, right? As messed up as it sounds, it's the truth, right? We're not going to sugarcoat this. We're not, right? And we got a woman right here actually committing these acts. The acts that people, so many people around me, right, are so used to hearing that only a man can do. Well, guess what? I think it's time for everybody to wake the hell up. For those that are still asleep, right, need to stay in bed. For real, for real. Because it's kind of like, hello, what happened to logic, common sense? Like, yes, a woman can commit these heinous acts, as crazy as it sounds. Why is it so hard to believe that a woman could do this? And especially to a man or to a boy.
Personal confidence, something that I try to push into my
That's how it
classroom and my
starts.
students.
This same element.
Personal
Yeah,
confidence,
that's how it
something
starts.
that I try to push into my classroom and my students.
This same elementary school teacher, who was once named Teacher of the Year, now straight up
Teacher of the year,
admits
my
she
ass.
sexually assaulted two preteen boys who were once her students.
Is that true?
Yes. Investigators found one of the boys' photos in her wallet when she was arrested. They
Oh,
also
wow.
found an overwhelming amount of disturbing evidence, including explicit texts, photos, and even videos. So,
Yo, she wasn't a teacher. She was a stalker. This itch right here, she was nothing more than Lilith in disguise. Who was that girl that seduced the men? And I'm not talking about Medusa. What was that other girl? We did a live on it. She's in the Bible. The one that seduced the guy, right? And I think she was trying to convince him to cut his hair. But if he cut his hair, he would have lost his strength. Oh my God, Ray, I need the story to come back to your head. Listen, you know what? It's that I got so much in my head. So let me not put my foot in my mouth and let's continue with this, right? Let me just keep calling her Lilith in disguise.
So let's get right into it. The defendant we're focusing on today is 35-year-old Jacqueline Ma, who at the time of her arrest was an elementary school teacher. Jacqueline began teaching 5th and 6th grade students back in 2023. All of this happened in National City, California, which is just south of San Diego. In 2022, she was actually honored by the San Diego County Office of Education for her exemplary work as a teacher. She even appeared on the local news there to talk about her Teacher of the Year award.
Just being that champion.
They awarded her Teacher of the Year, right, while she was out there, sexually assaulting 2 teenage boys. Like, boy, like it's crazy, right? Because like the first one, I was a little confused, but he's still a young boy. Like she sat here and groomed these 2 kids. Like the other one, the second one, was scared out his mind, and he was younger than the first one. Like it is a pattern here with these teachers, and me personally, I feel as though they need to do deeper background checks, right, in these schools, right? Like not just deeper background checks, not just deeper background checks, but some type of evaluation. They need to give these teachers some type of evaluation to see if they're capable of being in this type of atmosphere with these kids. Let me answer this
Champion
call.
for those students, allowing them to believe in themselves and see themselves the way that you believe in them.
Just 1 year after this interview was shot and Jacqueline won this Teacher of the Year award, she was arrested at her school, Lincoln Acres Elementary School, on allegations of child sexual assault. All of this started when a 12-year-old student's mother started to see some red flags. The mom suspected there may be an inappropriate relationship going on between her son and Jacqueline Ma, so she reported it. When Jacqueline was arrested at the school and investigators went through her belongings, they found a picture of this same 12-year-old boy tucked away in Jacqueline's wallet. They also found her jewelry. It even had the boy's initials on it. They also found some love letters inside of her classroom. Prosecutors later learned that Jacqueline had been talking to this boy for about 10 months. She was arrested, booked, and then released on bail, but that didn't last very long. She was arrested once again when investigators found evidence of child pornography. Since that arrest, she's been denied bail. So when investigators were taking a look through all of her data, they found that she sent this 12-year-old boy sexually explicit photos and even coerced this boy to send her some pics back. When the boy didn't respond or took too long, she got frustrated. According to the San Diego Tribune, this boy once wrote her a message saying, quote, "Sometimes I don't think you understand that I am a kid still."
This is a
Whoa.
feast like you.
This chick says, sometimes I don't think you understand that I'm a kid still. A grown woman. Yo, a grown woman saying this. What do these women see in these little kids that don't even know how to wipe their asses right yet? Like, you, boy, like, yo, I'm telling you, I just need to call the Undertaker. I need to call the Undertaker because, yo, these ain't women. These are not women. And then she got the audacity to sit here and cry in court. What, you got some type of remorse now? We know you don't got no remorse. You've done this time after time. You used to this. You way more. Listen, she's got, I don't know, like some type of obsession with kids, but she should not be teaching. This is why I say they need to they need to do some type of evaluation with these teachers before they hire them, right? We got some real good teachers out here, but unfortunately, right, we got predators amongst our kids teaching them. And they portray to be as good as the good teachers. Hate me for what I'm saying, love me for what I'm saying. Either way, listen, I'm not going to care. I'm here for the kids. We need to sit here, right, and find a way to bring a solution for these type of problems in our schools. As parents, we need to come together. If nothing else brings us together, this needs to bring us together. I mean, I don't know how else to say. I've talked about these topics in so many ways, right? And like I've said, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep bringing awareness, right? And what's crazy, right? I've touched a few parents. I've touched a lot of parents. But I still can't comprehend how I've reached more of the youth, right? And I'm talking about kids between the ages of 15 and up, 20, 21, 22, and they're not even kids. They're already grown, right? But these grown-ass folks still can't get the message. You got kids now trying to come together, right? Because of what us, leaders of our communities, are doing. They're speaking up. And they was doing it way before we was doing this. Way before. Y'all think that these kids don't speak up? Oh, yes, they have. You got to see them in these community meetings, in these school board meetings. They speak up and they speak with their chest out, loud, proud, and clear. They demand what it is that they want. You know how many kids have come up to these board meetings, right? Speaking about the books they want removed, about the programs they think that is needed, right? They're doing this. Why aren't we seeing more adults do this? Why aren't we backing up our kids, right? We need to back up our kids. How many kids, right, have taken them a minute, but they became brave after a while and spoke up on what they've been through, not just in these schools, but in their households, not just in their households, but in their communities. We say we care about our kids. We say the kids are our future. But what the hell are we doing but pushing them to the side and making them feel like they ain't shit? I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, but I'm not sugarcoating nothing here. And like I said, this panel, with this channel, we bring awareness. We bring solutions. And if you ain't got none and all you want to do is debate and argue, hey, the door is there. Just make sure the doorknob doesn't hit you where the good Lord splits you. Because you should not be debating a solution. If you debate a solution, I'm going to look at you like, why you here? Because you don't want to solve the problem. If anything, you want to bring more chaos.
Detectives later revealed that the boy's mom found messages from Jacqueline, his teacher, on the tablet. And in the messages, she asked him to delete some of them. She also asked him to turn on
I apologize for that, guys. Make sure y'all go check out Shay Love. Yo, great conversations, motivational topics every single day. Like, yo, Shay Love, like her channel is nothing but, how can I say it, a dose of fresh air. Like, she is so motivational, and I'm just like, damn. Like, I really wish that I was as humble as that. And I know that, it takes a lot for us to be humble, but Like, yo, the patience that she has when she's here online on the Matrix Bull, I gotta give her props, yo. Make sure y'all go check her out. You will not be disappointed at all.
vanishing mode, so the messages would just disappear. They also found a bunch of messages on a hidden app on her phone. Now, at a preliminary hearing back in December, detectives read from some screenshots of these messages. One read, quote, "Do not forget my underwear is in your pocket." In another message, she wrote, quote, "I love you too. Like, I'm actually in love with you." Months later, investigators slapped Jack.
Yo, what in the world do these itches? And I say itches, right? The B is out of there. I'm trying to be nice. What do they see in these babies, in these kids? Yo, I could not see a kid my son's age and say, I love you. Man, look, listen, man, the little boy's not even going to turn me on. I don't know how these grown women are attracted to our little boys, our angels. And it's crazy. Instead of letting them be boys, y'all like, damn, y'all forcing them to grow up. Like, when is we ever going to get to a society where our kids are kids and the grown-ups are grown-ups? Oh, my bad. Oh, shit. Is that? Oh, people talk about the Bible so much, but forget what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. And I hope I said the damn name right? Because, you know, it's not just about the LGBT community, right? When it comes to that story, it's also about incest and way more. Like, this shit is crazy. What do grown women see in little ass boys that can't even wipe their asses right? And they say only men do this? Yo, believe all women, they say? This woman didn't care. This woman sat here and just saw this little boy like he was a grown man. Where in her fairy tale land? I mean, where in her Peter Pan mind does she see this boy as yo, the second boy was scared shitless of what was going on. And normally when you hear teens talk about older, oh yeah, you know, we're going to hit that. Usually you hear these little teens talk like that. But not every teen is ready for that. Not every boy is ready for that. Like, oh, you know what, bro, I'm telling you this. These topics be so hard, right, to talk on, but they need to be talked on. They be touchy subjects, but coming from a warrior, right? Coming from a surviving warrior, I'm going to say it like this because some people are out here trying to, you know, figure out if they're survivors or if they're warriors. Once you figure it out, right, how to overcome that situation, that trauma that you've been living, right? And how can I say either, you know, learn how to live with it, right? Or because there's other ways, right? I'm not a therapist, right? Or none of that. But there's so many ways that you could overcome these traumas, right? Once you've overcome them, right, and figured out how to deal with the situation that you're dealing with, right, and you're able to help the next person, that shows you how far you've come. There are people that cannot let go, people that are still holding on to that hate, to that anger, haven't figured out how to turn that pain into motivation. And I can't figure out, right, if this teacher right here was a victim at one point, or is this something that, you know, something that she already is and has come out throughout the years? How is she teaching? How did they not figure this out, peep, or see the signs? See, I'm hoping y'all understand where I'm coming from this, right, with this, because it's like, it's only but logic. I mean, I just wonder if people ask these questions. And that's why, once again, it goes right back. Deeper backgrounds on these teachers and evaluations before they get hired, because something's going on. I don't know if it's in the air. I don't know if it's in their DNA or if it's something that's taught.
Jacqueline with even more charges when a second victim came to light. This time, the boy was only 11 years old when the abuse began. Prosecutors say Jacqueline called this student into her classroom and took off her shirt. The boy said she tried to get close to him, but he got scared, so he was able to leave. Prosecutors say she groomed both of these boys by buying them gifts, clothing, and even some gaming stuff. Initially, Jacqueline faced 19 felony charges and was expected to go to trial in April. But this month, a shocking plea deal was announced as Jacqueline owned up to all this abuse.
Guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
On February 5th, Jacqueline Ma pleaded.
So I guess she was crying, right? Because she had to, give that plea deal. You're guilty. You're guilty. You're nasty. You're disgusting. And you're a pedophile. You ain't nothing more than a freaking predator, yo. Like, man, I know I don't got my TikTok, yo, but DM a shorty, man. If y'all interested, we got the, we building caskets up in this John. Rest in peace. # all predators. We got the hoodies. We got the jackets, yo. Like I said, we bringing awareness to this John. Like, we need to, figure a way how to get rid of these predators. And I feel as though, like I tell people, there's only one way, and it's by building a casket. And it's crazy and it's messed up, right? Some people are caught up in the predicament that, we reviewed and reacted to a video where a father sat here and tried to unalive his child because he's not even a child, he was a grown man. He tried to unalive the person he gave birth to. He didn't give birth to that person, but he made that person. He planted a seed in a womb, boom, and the mother got pregnant. So, the person he gave life to, there you go. I was trying to find the word, man, like, damn, I'm over here changing cables, Rachel, get it together. Like, the person he gave life to, he had to sit here and try to unalive that person, take this person from this earth, because he found out that his child, right, was out here doing things with kids. And I'm sitting here like, damn, one hell of a predicament to be in as a parent. What would you do if you found out that your child was a predator? Would you try to unalive them, take justice into your own hands? Or would you let the law take its course? I don't know. That's like, damn, like your own child. You're sitting here and you're somebody that's known for, putting predators away. But then to turn around and your child be the one that you have to put down next, that's a hurt piece. That's a real big hurt piece. But there's only one solution for people like this, because I feel as though that there's no cure. I mean, conversations after conversations, listening to psychologists, listening to therapists, right? Listen to psychiatrists, listening to other people that have been through the same situation that I have been, or probably worse, right? Listening to all these stories, including mine out there. What is the solution when it comes to the predators? How can we help the youth? How can we help the kids? How can we help the women? How can we help the boys and the girls that are going through these type of traumas? And what's crazy, right? Teachers, would you expect a teacher to be a predator? The person that comes in, right, every day and supposed to make the school, right, feel like a second home, right? That's something that a couple of teachers taught me when, we was younger. Like, I don't know if it was them and it came from them, right? But they was the ones that like, yo, man, as teachers, we got to make y'all feel comfortable, right? We want y'all to learn, right? And, when y'all come to school, it's like a second home. Y'all come here, y'all eat breakfast. We educate y'all, right? We get y'all ready, right? It's kind of the same thing that your parent does when you're not going to school. And that's why I'm saying that before kids go to school, their parents are supposed to be educating them, teaching them, talking to them. Their child should already know how to spell their name by the time they go to school. At least know a little bit of cursive, but not in this era. But it's messed up. What type of solutions can we bring, right, for these predators to help our youth?
Guilty to 4 felony charges. 2 counts of lewd acts with a child under age 14 with duress, lewd act involving a child under age 14, and possessing material containing a minor engaged in or simulating sexual conduct. After news of her conviction broke, the National School District Superintendent released a statement. It reads in part, quote, 2 years ago, when we learned of the allegations of inappropriate physical activity between this former educator and a minor, we were stunned to our core. Although she was immediately placed on unpaid status and has been detained ever since, I want to assure our school community that with this guilty plea, we are now able to formally move to terminate her employment with the district. What's ahead now is
wow, it took y'all this long?
Originally faced 165 years to life, but with this new plea deal, she's up against 30 to life.
But still, it took y'all 2 years? It took for her to confess for y'all to sit here and actually take action with all the evidence and all the proof that y'all had. And this is what I'm saying, yo. Even yesterday when I was doing the live, right? Conversations that we have in the hood, right? TV shows that we watch, movies that we watch, give us messages and shit like that, right? Can there be a way, right, that, we could, I'm not even going to say fix the system, because the system is doing what it's supposed to do. Is there a way that we can make a difference, that we can make a change, right, when it comes to the system? How can we help our kids that go through this, right? Because what's funny is, right, when it comes to the, how can I say it? I'm not even going to say, it's hard to say it. When it comes to the victims that turn survivors, that turn surviving warriors, right, that end up being warriors, I'm going to say it like that, right? Kill a couple of birds with one stone, right? They end up with a trauma, and sometimes a lot of the perpetrators, a lot of the predators, right, end up still walking or coming out, doing, how can I say, coming out early, right, when they're supposed to be doing this certain amount of time, right? The same shit with cops, right? A lot of them do this and they end up walking free when they are guilty. Look at the Sonia Mancy situation, right? In other situations like Sonia Mancy and, different from it. Like, we got too many trigger happy cops. What can we do? Like, and what's crazy is, right, so many people are focused, and it's been like this for years, on the president. The president's job is to deal with the country, right? The government. Guess who deals with the communities and all these policies that, the president signs off on? The legislators. Guess who puts in the judges in the Supreme Court? Our votes. Who puts in the mayor? Our votes. But when it's time for them elections, you barely see people winning. Can we make a change? Can we make a difference? Hey, I mean, I would say, right, in my opinion, in my perspective, we can if we have more people together. But we're so divided, right, that the dust and I guess the debris in the air blinds people from actually seeing what is, right? It's crazy.
Now, from here, I've got to bring on criminal defense attorney and law and crime legal analyst Julie Rendelman to talk about the case. And Julie, we've talked about so many of these stories here on Law and Crime. I honestly lost count of the number of teachers there are that are convicted of sexually assaulting their students. It's just unbelievable across the board. But here, to me, it almost adds another layer because these are pre-teenage boys, elementary school age children. It just makes it so much worse to me. What do you think?
We've spoken about these cases more times than I can even count. Most of the cases that we've spoken about do tend to involve older children, still teenagers, but somewhere between 16, 17, sometimes 18, where a teacher takes on an inappropriate role with them. This, unfortunately, is unique to the extent that the children are so young. And even more impressionable than those of a bit older age.
She can't even get it out.
Just to be clear, I think it's deplorable. It's illegal across the board, no matter the age of anyone. But this one, I agree with you, the fact that they're so much younger. And this case, for some reason, is hitting me different than the other ones. I think it's because before I worked at Law and Crime, I taught in an elementary school. So I taught kindergarten. And this is the same school, like the same kindergarten to 6th grade.
And I bet you didn't see them kids like they were some sexual objects. You see where I'm coming from? I bet you ain't see them kids like, one was Brad Pitt and the other one was Denzel Washington. Nasty whole ass teacher. Glory Dios mío.
I would have been in the same school as this teacher. And it just makes me so stressed out and disgusted to think about these kids who are going to their teacher for honestly emotional support. Like, yes, they're learning, but also this teacher knows a lot about their personal life. These kids are confiding in them. So to me, it just seems like a major abuse of trust.
Absolutely. And remember, like, at least in one of the cases we know from the mother of the victim, it seems like she was grooming this child for months.
Yeah.
I think they even described it as like 10 months of grooming. And so, yeah, when you think about a parent entrusting their children to this community, to a school, particularly in this case where you have a teacher that's quote unquote was considered the teacher of the year from her district. It's so appalling. The one thing I think that's changed over the years is, again, I go back to this whole issue of having cell phones, texts, emails. Some of these so many of these incidents happened years before, but they weren't able to prove it. It was just the child's word against the adult figure in the room. Now, particularly in this case, you have texts that back up what these children say, and you can only...
Even with these texts, what was the law going to do? What was this judge going to do? My question is, why are certain judges lenient in situations like this, in cases like this, when they can give them a maximum sentence of certain amount of years in cases like this, but they don't? It's like they want these predators to walk back out on these streets. Me personally, since there's no cure for them, not even castration, yo, we building caskets up in this John, yo. Like, come on, let's be real. It's like sometimes they're protecting the predators, and the victims got to sit here and keep suffering and keep suffering. Like, yo, whoa. It's like the more and more I talk about it, right, and try to, come up with solutions and more solutions towards this, right, while I hear other people make excuses, it's like this boils me. And then the humble person in me is like, it just turns into the hood person in me. Like, yo, because there are solutions, but we just need more people together, yo. There is a way that, these are at least problems that we could solve together. But we want to focus on things that we don't know how to fix. Like, for example, the past.
Imagine what is in the mind of a teacher who doesn't recognize that these texts are eventually going to be found.
That is the question I ask in every single one of these cases. I truly cannot wrap my brain around the fact that people take photos or have texts, videos. I just don't.
Your hair deserves a hot tool finish without the...
It took 2 years for y'all to really arrest this chick, yo. 2 years.
Stand it. In this case, I'm grateful that it happened, though, because we do have some pretty solid evidence. And as you pointed out, this teacher was texting or messaging on some sort of application, one of the students, and asked him to delete the messages, and then asked him to put on vanish mode so that they would disappear. And was speaking to him on an app that was hidden. So to me, her saying all these things, hey, get rid of it, let's hide it, all of that, huge consciousness of guilt at the very least, right?
Oh, absolutely. To say the least. And it also just, it shows the incredible manipulation. I think a lot of people like to think about these scenarios where an older kid is the victim of a teacher that sometimes is fairly close in age. We've seen that. And so some people perhaps don't have the empathy or the understanding to grasp that regardless of the closeness in age, whether it's 16 and 24, there is still, the teacher is still in a position of authority. Just imagine now a scenario where you have children that haven't even reached puberty, that are being manipulated into hiding things from their parents, and quite frankly, picking the students that she thinks will best be able to be manipulated, best be able to continue the crimes that she's committing.
That's what I'm saying throughout all of this. You really touched on it there. The fact that these kids.
The fact that we have to put our trust in the hands of complete strangers for almost 8 hours a day, for 5 days out of the week, is what I think is crazy. Right. And it took a lot for a lot of parents, right? Shout out to all the parents. They got together. We've managed to put, we've got the class dojo, right? We got certain cameras in certain schools, right? From Head Start all the way up to 3rd grade, right? But we need to get cameras in each and every one of these classrooms. I got a petition, description down below. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Facebook. Like, it's so many places where this petition is at. As soon as I get a chance, right, and I get a grip of this, John, I'm gonna start putting all the links in the chat so that people can check them out. But we do got these petitions out here. We do got parents out here putting the footwork in to try to better our schools. But we need more parents to come together. We want that change. We want that difference. And a lot of y'all's going to have to put that pride to the side.
kids are so young, pre-teen. They're not even in their teens as of yet. So of course they're going to respect and trust the teacher who won Teacher of the Year. Their parents probably wanted them to be in that class because they thought that she would be a good teacher. It's just wild to think about all of that. But you mentioned grooming, and I wanted to go back to that because there were reports that she bought them things like clothes, or they were into gaming, so she bought them some gaming stuff.
Trying to get
and
them
at one point you also pointed out the fact that it was over 10 months. So this isn't just a one-time thing, 1 week, 1 month. This is almost a year if we're going to round up. So the grooming process too, does that show that she had intent here to commit these crimes?
I don't know that you even need any of the grooming in order to prove intent. The minute that a text is sent requesting whether it be a naked photo or sending a photo for herself, there's no question what the intent is. I think the fact that this is a teacher that is grooming, that's manipulating these children, trying to figure out, are they amenable? Are they going to be the child that she can get to do those things?
It's crazy. You got a grown woman using her body as a tool to get these kids, right, to please her, to make her feel happy, to make her feel, I don't know what. I don't know how a little kid could sit here and do this when there's plenty of grown men out there, plenty of fish in the sea that she could sit there, go fishing one day and just catch one. For real, for real. But you got to sit here and go in the pond and just grip up the little baby fish. Like, come on. Nasty whore.
Makes it all the more despicable.
We have a lot of evidence in the way of all of that. Photos, there are videos, both explicit of her and other ones that she coerced one or both of these boys to take.
Wow.
So thankfully, in a way, we have the evidence to yield a conviction, but it's still crazy to me that she would even keep any of this on record, so to speak. The other evidence I want to talk about, though, is just super creepy. When she was arrested and investigators went through her wallet, her purse, they found a photo of one of the students in her wallet. Not a class photo, a photo of this specific child. Then she had love notes. She had some jewelry that had his initials on it. That to me is just so scary and creepy. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, look, it certainly shows. I don't want to excuse it. I'm not excusing it, but there seems to be some clear mental health issues. There is no reasonable
it is a mental health issue
that is going to not only commit these type of crimes, but then kind of keep, a souvenir from them. In a sense, there's almost an obsession with these children. And one wonders, I hate to say this, but when we think about who chooses to become a teacher, we expect that someone becomes a teacher because they want to teach children. They want to navigate their lives in the most positive of ways. And you start to wonder, is this someone that actually got involved in education for the purpose of grooming these young children?
That is so sad to even think about, because if I go back to when I taught at school, we had a whole section of our handbook talking about sexual assault, inappropriate contact with children. We had to go through all of these training sessions to make sure we know what's right and what's wrong. And I'm sure her district.
Ooh, she said they go through a lot of training sessions. See, she's not the first person that I've heard that's been in the teaching field say they go through training sessions, right? So that none of this happens, right? Especially they go through training sessions to de-escalate certain situations in these schools, right? And a lot of people don't know that. But I found out, right? Because at one point I had to face the teachers union and I learned a lot of stuff. But not all teachers should be teaching in a field where, there are so many kids. And people like this should not be around kids. The flags are there. I just feel as though that people choose to ignore it until something happens. Then they say something.
District had something in place at the very least to know that this is wrong. You brought up mental health. I think that could be something here. Eventually, she did go to a plea deal, though. There was supposed to be a trial date set for April, and then we kind of had this surprise. Okay, she's going to plead. What do you think? I mean, she had, I believe it was 19 charges against her, and then she pled to 4. Does all of that make sense to you?
Damn,
it does. I mean, Sierra, are either of us really surprised that this case didn't go to trial? I mean, this is not the case that you're going to want to sit in front of a jury of 12 and try to hope that they're going to somehow buy your defense, because I don't know what the defense would be. So I think it was.
I think that's why she took the plea. because she knew when she went in front of them 12 jurors, she would have been screwed for life. This is crazy. Like, why do we give them an easy way out? If there's proof and there's evidence, charge them with the maximum. How can I say it? Charge them with the maximum penalty that you could charge them with. Like, give them 100 years if it's possible. But no, I know it's not that. It's way lesser than that. I think the maximum penalty that they could give them. How much is it? I gotta look it right back up. But shit, give them the maximum. Give them life if you have to, because it's a sickness they can't get rid of. Build caskets if you have to. Bring the death penalty back. Where's that? Y'all could put a dog down for biting somebody and having rabies, but you can't put a mofo down for taking the innocence of somebody? Come on, let's be real.
Even though we're surprised, I think if we thought about, we all knew it was coming. The question was, what was that plea?
Today, I'm packing a first-time subscription order and also showing you what it's like to build a box on our site. First, pick how many meals you...
Premium. I messed up today.
Deal going to look like? She was looking at, I think, over 180 years.
Dang.
If she didn't plead and she was found guilty, and one would be hard pressed unless there was some.
Man, if she didn't plead 180 years, yeah, that's what she needed. How many years y'all gave her for pleading? You see what I'm saying?
Proof that it wasn't her. She wasn't really a teacher. It wasn't really her phone. It really wasn't really her pictures, which I think would be almost impossible to prove. And so I think she did what she needed to do, which was take responsibility with the hope that she'll be cut a break by the prosecutor and the judge.
What?
You're right in that a lot of these
break.
cases do end in plea deals, and we could have kind of guessed that this case was going in that way. Prosecutors talked about something important in this too, that they said they were hoping for a plea deal because they didn't want these young children to have to get on the stand and testify and go through the trauma of everything that had happened previously. Do you think that's one of the major reasons why they were eager to have this plea deal, not to re-victimize the kids?
So I think it comes from both sides. I think, yes, the prosecutor doesn't want to put them on the stand for their own well-being. I'm sure the parents don't want to put their children on the stand. And
I almost forgot about that. But damn, man. Like, it's crazy because if you got the confession of the kid, right, why not just take that into the courts? And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all say y'all need the kid to go be there, but if y'all could just record the recording from the kid making the confession and take it into court, I think that would be way easier for the child. But the way the laws are, the way they got these policies and everything, I get it. But once again, that's where we come in. What are we going to do? What are we sitting around waiting for? Because listen, one leader of every community that's active out here putting that footwork can't do it alone. They still need that backup. They still need, the government still needs to see that, they have the people that are willing, that really want this. But we're not showing it. Can we make a change? Can we make a difference? At the end of the day, the answer lies within us.
I'm sure at the same time, the defense, doesn't want to put them on the stand because can you imagine a jury's thoughts when an 11, 12-year-old, maybe a little older now, has to get up and talk about what their teacher did to them and how that would look in the eyes of the jury. So I don't think it's beneficial to the defense either to have that situation. I think it looks better.
It's not as much as how the defense would look at it, lady. It's more the trauma, reliving that trauma. And I say it from somebody that had to sit on a stand and testify against her abuser. It's the trauma, reliving the experience. That's the issue right there. That messes you up even more as a kid, especially when you got to sit here and you got to repeat this time after time. Now, you're not just talking to cops. You're not just talking to detectives. You're talking to family members. Now you're talking to therapists. Now you're talking to, lawyers. Now you're in front of a judge. Now you got 12 people listening to you in front of, whoever the heck is sitting there in them stands. I was there at one point too. So that's why I said, I almost forgot about that. So it's not as much about the drills and what people think, is about more the mental health of what the child is going through. And I'm saying it from experience. So I don't know if this lady, It's talk. I don't think she's even talking from experience. Experience. I'm gonna say it just like that. She ain't talking from experience. She hasn't been through something like this, right? Or I don't know if she's had somebody, a loved one that's been through something like this, but she's not talking from experience. That is not really the reason. I don't even like. What are you, a lawyer? Hold on, wait. Like, what is you, a
Enter in
lawyer?
front of the judge
You're
if she
just a
takes
reporter.
at least some level of responsibility.
And it sounds like she did. I mean, she pleaded guilty, so that unto itself is her accepting responsibility. But at one point, the judge said, "Is all of this true?" And she said, "Yes, this is true." So she did kind of fess up to all of it. As far as the sentencing, you pointed this out.
She ain't mean it. Those are crocodile. Like, yo, I'm telling you, the signs are there. Look, I want y'all to see her face. Oh shit, it went all the way back here. Why did it do that? I got hit with an ad. I just messed up.
Not comfortable doing. If I'm
trying to get a little crying.
What do you think would be appropriate, or what do you expect from the judge to hand down?
So I think we're going to see quite on the high end. I'll note something that stood out to me when one of the children responded to her via text, when she kind of was upset that he wasn't responding to her. He makes a comment saying, do you realize how old I am? You know, trying to get her to understand I'm just a child trying to deal with an adult pushing me to do things that I'm not comfortable doing. If I was the judge, that is going to be the line that I bring up at the sentencing, to just really hone in on the fact of how I keep using the word despicable. I have children of my own. I can't even fathom all the parents who have children that go to that school, and what they feel and the emotions they must feel knowing that any one of them, by the way, forgetting the two kids, but who.
I'm starting to hear that word a lot, fathom, right? But I'm hearing people say phantom. Like, I don't know if it's me or I'm tripping, but I thought it was with the F, but I'm hearing a lot of people say I can't phantom this. I thought it was fathom. I can't even pronounce the word, so I'm not even going to keep trying.
Else could have been the potential victim for her, and I don't think the judge is going to cut her any slack, nor do I think the judge should.
Overall, this case is just heartbreaking and so upsetting on so many levels. But hopefully this is some form of justice for the families in at least some way. Julie Rendelman, thank you so much for coming on with us today and walking us through
the. This is crazy, yo. And you know, our next live is going to be on this right here, right?
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. This is a really disturbing case.
It's not going to be right now, but this is what we're going to be reviewing and reacting to, right? It's really crazy. But we got a Florida teen admits to rape a 91-year-old woman.
She's beat up really bad.
This is going to be our next live, right? He is being charged. We got the video on law and crime, so that's going to be our next review and reactions, right? We're going to talk about it. Hopefully we get more, more of a, how can I say, more of a reaction from the chat, more of a conversation, right? Let's talk about it, y'all. Like, these are conversations that are touchy, yes, I know, but conversations that are needed, right? With so much going on, man. Like I said, as a leader of my community, right? As somebody that goes to these meetings, right? I feel as though we need more solutions, and that's what I'm here looking for, right? We're not here to bash nobody. We're not here to bring nobody down, and I'm sure as hell not going to debate a solution, especially if it hasn't been tried out yet. And you can, the solution is benefiting the kids and it's benefiting the adults and everything like that, and to help make a change and a difference. Like, come on, we got to get it together, yo. Right? On that note, guys, man, this is your Racheal. I hope all of y'all have had a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble morning, man. I'm going to see y'all on the next live. Hope y'all enjoy this lyrical poem. It's time to make a change, but it could only work, right, if you wanted to. Darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to bring me down. You may try to face of darkness, I stand tall and strong.